Today, we're re-exploring one of the most astonishing feats of natural engineering on planet Earth, the woodpecker's skull, a built-in biological shock absorber that lets these small, unassuming birds survive bone-rattling forces of up to 1,200 times force of gravity without ever suffering a single concussion, brain damage, or even a mild headache. For decades, scientists and nature lovers alike have stared in wonder as woodpeckers hammer furiously against tree trunks, delivering rapid-fire strikes that would kill any other creature in minutes. And today, we're peeling back the layers to reveal every tiny, brilliant adaptation that makes this superpower possible. This is not just a random quirk of nature. It is a precision-built survival system, forged by millions of years of evolution, optimized to turn destructive impact energy into harmless dissipation. And it stands as one of the clearest examples of how nature designs solutions far more elegant than anything humans have yet engineered. Let's start with the raw numbers that make this feat so mind-blowing. A typical woodpecker pecks between 18 and 22 times every single second, slamming its beak into solid wood at speeds of 6 to 7.5 meters per second. Each strike lasts just 0.5 to 1 millisecond, so fast that the human eye can barely process the movement, and each impact generates a deceleration force of 1,200 generation. To put that in perspective, an untrained human being will lose consciousness at just 6 generation. Fighter pilots with advanced suits and rigorous training can only sustain 14 to 15 generation for a few seconds without blacking out. A force of 50 generation is enough to cause a severe human concussion, and anything above 100 generation is often fatal. Woodpeckers endure 1,200 generation, 12 times the fatal threshold for humans, thousands of times every single day for their entire lives, and walk away completely unharmed. Even more incredibly, only 1% of that massive impact energy ever reaches their brain. The other 99% is absorbed and redirected by their skull and body structures, making their shock management system 3 times more efficient than the most advanced car crash safety systems humans have invented. This level of energy control is not just impressive. It is a biological revolution that rewrites the rulebook for how living things handle extreme physical stress. Now, let's break down the multi-layered shock-absorbing system that turns the woodpecker's head into nature's ultimate impact armor. The first line of defense is the skull itself, which is not a solid rigid bone, like most animals, but a lightweight, honeycombed marvel of porous bone tissue. Microscopic scans show that the woodpecker's skull has a porosity of 70 to 80%, filled with tiny interconnected air pockets that acts like thousands of microsprings or a built-in safety foam. Unlike human skulls, which are dense and transmit force directly to the brain, the woodpecker's spongy bone deforms slightly on impact, spreading kinetic energy across the entire skull, instead of letting it concentrate in one spot. The densest bone is found in the forehead and back of the skull areas that take the brunt of each peck, creating a rigid outer shell that blocks direct impact, while the inner porous layer soaks up vibration. This dual-density design is exactly what engineers try to replicate in modern, shock-absorbing materials, but nature perfected it millions of years ago. The second critical component is the woodpecker's hyoid bone, a structure that supports the tongue and is completely unique to these birds. In most animals, the hyoid bone is small and sits near the throat, but in woodpeckers, it is an extraordinarily long, flexible structure that starts at the tip of the beak, wraps all the way around the back of the skull, and even loops up near the nasal cavity. Think of it as a natural, flexible seatbelt or a shock-absorbing harness that cradles the entire skull and brain. When the woodpecker strikes a tree, this elongated hyoid bone stretches slightly, absorbing excess force and preventing the skull from jolting too violently. It acts as a stabilizer and a cushion, all in one, adding an extra layer of protection that no other bird possesses. This simple, elegant structure is often overlooked, but it is just as vital to the woodpecker's survival as its specialized skull. Third, the woodpecker's beak is not just a hard chisel, it is a precision-engineered impact tool that further reduces stress on the brain. Unlike a rigid metal drill, the woodpecker's beak is slightly curved and made of tough elastic keratin that bends microscopically on impact. This slight flexibility redirects force away from the skull and into the neck muscles, which are thick, strong, and designed to absorb residual vibration. The beak also strikes the tree in a perfectly straight vertical line every single time, eliminating the dangerous rotational shear forces that cause most human concussions. Doctors know that brain injuries are rarely caused by straight-on impact. They are caused by the brain twisting or spinning inside the skull. Woodpeckers avoid this entirely by keeping their head, neck, and beak aligned in the perfect rigid line during every peck, turning their entire upper body into a stiff, controlled hammer rather than a wobbly, unstable mass. This perfect alignment is not accidental. It is a behavior honed by evolution to maximize pecking power while minimizing injury. The fourth and final layer of protection lies in the woodpecker's brain itself, which is uniquely built to resist damage. A woodpecker's brain is tiny, compact, and fits extremely snugly inside its skull, with almost no extra space to move around. In humans, the brain floats in cerebrospinal fluid, which helps cushion impacts, but also allows the brain to shift and collide with the skull during a blow. Woodpeckers have far less fluid around their brain, and tough connective tissue holds the brain firmly in place, eliminating any chance of it slamming against the skull walls. Even the shape of the brain is optimized. It is smooth and compact, with no large, fragile regions that can tear or bruise on impact. Every part of the woodpecker's head, from the outermost beak to the innermost brain tissue, is designed to work in harmony to neutralize 1,200 generation forces. Recent scientific studies have added even more depth to our understanding of this amazing system. For years, scientists assumed the skull acted primarily as a shock absorber, but high-speed, 4,000 frame per second footage and CT scans have revealed that the woodpecker's head also acts as a stiff, efficient hammer to maximize pecking performance. The beak and skull decelerate at the exact same rate on impact, meaning force is distributed evenly rather than being soaked up in one spot. This combination of stiffness and shock absorption creates a system that is both powerful and protected, capable of chiseling deep into wood to find food or carve nests, while keeping the brain completely safe. It is a balance of strength and softness that no human-made tool can match. To understand why woodpeckers evolved this incredible adaptation, we have to look at their way of life. Woodpeckers are the forest's primary pest controllers, feasting on wood-boring insects that destroy trees. To reach those insects, they must chip through bark and solid wood, a task that requires relentless high-force pecking. They also carve deep nesting cavities in tree trunks, homes that protect their eggs and chicks from predators and harsh weather. Males even peck rapidly to create loud drumming sounds, marking territory and attracting mates. Without their shock-proof skulls, none of these essential behaviors would be possible. They would injure themselves before finding food or raising young. This adaptation is not just a cool trick. It is the foundation of their entire ecological role, making them vital to the health of forests worldwide. The woodpecker's skull has also become a goldmine for human innovation. Engineers and scientists are studying every detail of this natural system to design better protective gear for humans. Modern football helmets, bike helmets, and construction hard hats now use layered, porous materials inspired by woodpecker bone. Spacecraft designers are copying the energy redirection principles to protect satellites and crew capsules from micrometeorite impacts and launch vibrations. Even car safety systems are being reimagined using the woodpecker's combination of stiff structures and flexible cushions to reduce crash injuries. What started as a survival tool for a small bird is now saving human lives and advancing technology across industries. When you watch a woodpecker at work next time, take a moment to appreciate the miracle happening right in front of you. This small common bird carries in its head a technology more advanced than our best human engineering, a product of millions of years of gentle, persistent evolution, shaping every cell, every bone, every muscle, for one purpose: to survive against impossible odds. It is a reminder that nature is the greatest engineer of all, creating solutions that are efficient, elegant, and perfectly suited to the task at hand. The woodpecker's 1,200 generation shock-absorbing skull is more than just a biological oddity. It is a testament to the power of evolution, the beauty of natural design, and the endless wonders waiting to be discovered in the animal kingdom. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.